Good morning and welcome to Between the Lines. I'm your host, Jeanette Huffman, and we will be joined today with my co-host, always by my side, and Laura L. Holloway. She wrote Dancing with Demons, a love story. And I am just completely, would the word enamored be correct? I'm not really sure, but she has written a beautiful novel about trauma and love and healing, so many things that resonated with me that I quite literally was driving to work, listening to her third chapter and started crying in the car. And I don't say that to scare you. Nothing scary about it. It just touched me in a world where it's very hard for those things to happen. That really stood out to me. So I'm super excited. I've been very excited to get her on here and to listen to her story and her message. But everybody, please give Laura Holloway a big welcome. And after we are done and after you have listened to me jabber on, go to YouTube and listen to her own voice as she tells her story, because I know that she says that she has an audiobook coming out and that it will be perfect in the way that people expect audiobooks to be. But I honestly feel like what she's recorded is already perfect. It's beautiful. It's like listening to poetry or a beautiful song. All right, I will stop. So let's welcome Laura L. Holloway, author of Dancing with Demons, a love story. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Between the Lines. I am your host, Jeanette Huffman, and on top of Laura's head, I see my wonderful, fabulous co-host, Rich Kopaz. So Rich, say hello.
Hello.
Today, we will be interviewing Laura L. Holloway. Say hello, Laura. Laura is the author of Dancing with Demons, a love story. And I found out about Laura maybe a week ago, and I have already watched all of the YouTube videos that she has available a couple times. I might be in love. I don't know. But
So to clarify, she's been reading her book on YouTube.
correct. I've listened to your audiobook. Please, Laura, will you tell us about the audiobook that you have available right now?
Yeah. So my idea is that I do intend to do a proper audiobook. I have a real life sound engineer who does this for a living in the whole 9 yards. Thankfully, a local here who we connected, like a year ago to talk about doing the proper audiobook. It's just been hard with scheduling and timing and all the things. And so in the meantime, I thought, well, a great way to practice reading my book for people would be just to figure out this YouTube thing and just go chapter at a time, real talk, bumbling along, making all the mistakes. I didn't have a microphone, anything at all. I'm just okay, well, I'm just going to go for it. So like you discovered, I started with just the opening pages of the book. And then I started reading one chapter at a time as I was able to. Gosh, what chapter did I get to? Chapter 11?
I believe it was 11.
11? Yeah. And then my computer crashed and burned. So I haven't, we're in cliffhanger mode with all of that. Then
How many chapters to go?
there's 16 chapters and then there's a closing. Yeah.
We're so close.
I know. And the last chapters are power packed, man. There's a lot to it. So basically I thought it'll give me a good opportunity to practice, to get any feedback, to put it out there in a no-cost capacity for people who are curious about the book, and also just get to, just see what it's like to read the book out loud, understanding that people are going to watch it and hear it. And so that's been super cool, super fun. And every time I listen back on what I've read, I'm always I totally want to read that one line differently, or I don't like that pause there. When I do the Yoda voice, I gotta really work on that, So that's been pretty cool and pretty fun. And I would love to finish reading the last chapters, but I just need to get my computer fixed first, I guess. Hasn't been a priority in life.
I'd have to say that's the first reading of a novel that I've seen done like that. And I don't think you should change anything. It was beautiful from the moment that I heard your voice on there. And I promise you, I'm not going to show up at your house creepily peeking through the windows.
Okay. You in a nice way. I'll totally invite you over. It doesn't have to be creepy at all.
You have such a great voice and you can feel you listening to it. So it's like I just walked over and I'm having some tea with a friend and we're just talking about life. And
Yeah.
sometimes the dogs bark. I loved the Yoda thing. Absolutely loved it. I love that you laugh and that you do silly little quirky things. You snort sometimes. I'm dying when you snort. It's like,
yeah, I'm glad you like it. I can become self-conscious about it for sure. But I don't know.
no,
It also cracks me up.
Right, so
it's so real.
let's let people know, just in a nutshell, what's this book about?
Yes, please.
My gosh, the elevator pitch. I've never gotten great at that. So let's try it. It's about life experiences, trauma, basically my relationship with myself and with animals.
Here.
And I've always felt a little challenged by summing it up because it feels like it's about so much. But long story short, I joke that it's about me coming to Colorado to write a book and then everything that happened instead. I came here almost 21 years ago now, thinking I was going to write a book, and then ended up getting pregnant, raising my son. The universe was like, yeah, you could write a book now, but we're going to give you a couple more decades of power-packed experience, and then you can write a book about that. And that book is actually going to be a lot more helpful. It's very, very introspective. It's based largely on 3 years of my journal entries, which spanned across COVID. And a couple years before COVID hit, I got attacked by a Great Pyrenees dog. And I learned the term new trauma triggers old trauma, which is a helpful term to use. So getting attacked by that dog helped me understand that animals had always been my safe place. People had never felt really safe for me. And getting attacked by the dog was sort of like the push to, all right, guess what? You need to work with this. You need to learn how to find balance between hermity instincts and engaging with humans and engaging with animals and dealing with my own fear. So during COVID, after the attack, and my dad had passed away, my old horse passed away, my llama passed away, my elder dog passed away. So basically just all this trauma compounding, I went to a really, really deep, dark place and was very suicidal, really, and struggling with raising a teenage boy during lockdown and just feeling challenged, just being in life. Like life just felt very, very scary and overwhelming. So I ended up doing psychedelic assisted psychotherapy, which was kind of a newer thing on the table at the time. The only information that I was able to find about it really was Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind. And then they did a little Netflix series. That was the most prevalent information I was able to find at the time about psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. But I really was at my wit's end, and a girlfriend recommended it. She was doing it after getting buried in an avalanche and experiencing PTSD from that situation. And so she dove in deep, and I was just like, okay, well, if you think it's a helpful thing, I'll give it a try because I don't know what else to do. Leaving this planet now is not a good idea. The book is my journal entries with some reflection of my upbringing and influences that I've had, and then into the journal entries prior to the psychedelic work, because it's like this mystery and puzzle pieces that get put together, and it all unfolds perfectly in hindsight, which is my favorite thing about the book. And in writing the book, going back through those journal entries and being like, oh my God, it all makes sense now. You can't make this stuff up. Real life and all the things that were alluded to in the future that I would experience. I freaking love it. And it's not made up. This is real. This is not some story I just wrote. It's really how it unfolded. And it is pretty magical in that way. Basically taking me through what's called the psychedelic journeys, working with a guide who has gone through schooling and has psychotherapy capacities, as well as specifically working with psychedelics. And it really opens up whole new worlds and perspectives that I did not previously have access to. And then me just compulsively journaling through the whole thing.
I think one of the things that really, really strikes me and Jeanette when we're listening to you read it, because now that people have a grasp, this is your life story, is how vulnerable and transparent you are. And it's so super compelling.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good. Right on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I roll. And it's off-putting for some people. And it feels awesome to present it to people who are like, oh yeah, no, that feels good. I want to engage on that level. Or Or maybe it challenges you to tap into your own vulnerabilities and decide how much you want to share too. Because I'm really just like, here it is all on my sleeve. And I don't know that I've ever known a different way. And it has caused me challenges in my life. I was always the kid who was too emotional. I was always the grown up who was too emotional, yada, yada, yada. And I feel like finding that balance between control and vulnerability and authenticity. I feel like that's what our culture is ready for and is really starting to step into. Do you guys agree?
I do. That's why I just loved it so much, because it's so real. And I feel like that is what the world needs right now. We're so
Yeah.
used to airbrushed and perfection and only be happy in the public in front of people. And maybe people exist that way, but I don't know a lot that do, because even the ones that I've talked to, friends that look like they have it all together and everything's perfect, when you actually sit down with them, that's just life. We go through different things. Some people have more trauma. Some people seem to have grown up in some weird little bubble that, I mean, good for them, but it's like, I wasn't in that bubble.
Yeah. Yeah. And most people were not. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think the world is ready for more of what you are putting out there. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, I'm always amazed when I hear somebody say, yeah, I kind of grew up without any real trauma. I had loving parents. There was no substance abuse, all these things. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And also, I think because it's so, to me, I feel like it's so uncommon. If you scratch beneath the surface and encounter the people who are truly interested in reflecting, everybody's got some trauma, whether it's little t trauma or big T trauma, as my psychologist would say. Maybe they were teased in grade school and that's their trauma. Or maybe they were sexually abused by an entrusted caretaker. So to compare isn't helpful. I think what's helpful is to just acknowledge that we're all humans having this experience and everybody's got different stuff, and to just be open to what does that look like to be honest and vulnerable in a way that is truly healthy and not just like, well, this is my trauma. I'm going to carry it around and dump it on everybody. No, that's not helpful either.
No.
But how to address it in a healthy way to where we truly can start like recognizing and mending those wounds in our culture to where it becomes normalized to talk about things that are, you fucked up. You can bleep that out. For real. No. Because I think it is so taboo to talk about a lot of these subjects, and we are supposed to just put on a stiff upper lip and get through it.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, thank you for your message. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm just like how many young women, I know I've heard the statistics, and it's like, 1 in 3 girls will have some sort of sexual assault or molestation by the time they're 18 years old. 1 in 3. That's an outrageous number. And also it was like 1 in 6 boys will experience the same by the time they're 18, if I'm remembering those statistics correctly. All that is to say, like, that is something that our culture needs to be more open about. Clearly, it is a problem. It is a problem. And pretending it doesn't exist just means that the problem doesn't get addressed, and so there's no way of solving it, Seriously, what the I didn't even know. Like, I had ideas, but I didn't even know for sure until I did the psychedelic stuff, and then all this. It was like all these riddles were solved. Like, this is why, Laura, this is why you feel these ways. This explains all of your weird little thoughts and reactions throughout your lifetime. Yeah, I'm curious if you have ever explored psychedelic therapy at all. As for the calmness, I was just thinking about that. I'm glad I seem calm. Any calmness that I possess is in direct relation to all of my opportunities to practice, because the calm is, I understand that's what's going to be helpful. The freaking out is not going to be helpful. I've done a lot of freaking out in my lifetime. I still do some freaking out for sure. And then I do my best to get all the animals taken care of and go to bed as early as I can, and then wake up as early as I want to, which is generally very early. This morning it was 3:30, and get up and just come back into balance. And I do that through writing. So that's me. All right. Good morning, girl. I am in the throes of it, taking care of all the animals, getting all the medical needs of everybody done, taking care of myself too, practicing breathing and staying calm. All right, cool. Talk with you soon.
One thing I just want to mention. If I had anything, I had small T trauma. I mean, my parents are still alive. They've been married 70 years now. Yeah.
Happily, would you say? Happily married?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was bullied a lot was my small trauma.
Sure.
And to the point where it would make good 80s movies. That kind of like bully episodes that you'd see on movies. But one of the things you just said there was like it's taboo. It was taboo. It's kind of oversaturated. It's almost like I talked to my son, and I bet Jeanette's kids have similar stories. It's like there's a competition to see who has more trauma.
Yeah, and that's not helpful either.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like if they don't have it, they manufacture it. Mm-hmm. And it's so troublesome.
And so can you say more about what that looks like in your experience with somebody manufacturing trauma?
So we did not grow up with internet, but the people who grow up with internet now, if they have any sort of like, I wonder why my arm's sore, we would just be like, I slept on it funny. Or our parents would be like, that's growing pains. And we wouldn't give it another thought and we'd move on.
Yeah.
Now, looking up every possible answer, or it's a mental illness, or it's not. And then this is the reports I get from my son just finished his first year of college. So through high school and college, he's like, yeah, my peers are always like, I had to deal with this and this, and my parents are, and all kids complain about their parents. But
that's part of growing up.
About their parents.
Yeah. That's where I think you're totally correct with the whole balance thing, and that comes into play in so many things. Balance the amount that you eat, moderation, that perfect little middle point, the sweet spot.
We need to, as a society, that's the thing we really love about your book, is that you're handling it. It's not sensationalized. It's not dismissive. These are your journal entries. Every one of these entries is what you experienced, went through, felt at that time. And you're just sharing. There's nothing glorifying or victimizing about it. At the same time, you do have an overarching hope and positive outlook that you carry all the stuff. And I want to bring this up because you and I talked about the script for the audio seed, which we got to talk about.
It was beautiful. I'm going to tell you, I listened to it this morning. Rich did an amazing job. And I know the backstory, but you're going to love it.
One of the things in our conversation was that, and it's funny because you got to read some of your stuff from sort of an outside perspective. And you were like, yeah, wow, this is like you take bits out of context and putting them here kind of casts a whole different light on this. So we got to talk about that. You right? But I did want to hone in on that there's darkness there. But you did want to make sure, and we wrote some added material in there, we want to make sure that this leaves you with a hope, a feeling of positivity, a feeling that isn't just a dark spiral of somebody going out and I should have listened to you. Because you did mention at one time that you could read it. And I had my daughter, Brian, read it because she's a really good actress and's got a great voice. And I've worked with her on a bunch of these. And then when I was editing it, it just didn't work. Her entire tone just did not vibe with the material. So at 4 this morning, I ended up scrapping all that original stuff. And I went on YouTube and I grabbed your clips. I changed the intro a little because I just got to get to where Laura's speaking as fast as I can in order for this to pull off. And then it's just you speaking those clips. And then put in that end that we talked about. And I was really happy with how it came out. I thought this is what it should have been all along. I really should have listened to you from the beginning. I would have saved myself. If Jeanette likes it, you'll like it.
I loved it. I loved that every time he does one of these audio scenes, he's so versatile. And so it's not the same thing. He kind of gets into their brain and then creates this scene that just really, I don't know, Rich, I love it. I would apologize if someone was in my brain.
It was a little messy. Yeah. There's a lot of dog hair. It's kind of a little cluttered.
I got to tell you, There was something that you said in your reading that I loved, tucking your demons away in bed and kissing them on their twisted faces. I was driving to work and I just cried because a lot of people, they want to run away from that. They want to hide that. They want to not look at it, to be able to just look at them and see them for what they are and to say, it sucks, but I love you.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, the spoiler alert for towards the end of the story is that my psychedelic work revealed that I was molested when I was really little. So obviously there's going to be a warning. We're going to want to give a warning about potential triggers for PTSD. Just mention that there's going to be discussions of childhood trauma and sexual abuse. Or I don't know, like I guess my question for you is like, what is your sense around that in terms of, I guess my thought is to kind of touch on it, not go too deep on it. Yeah. So anyways, I guess I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
That is totally up to you. I've listened to your story several times now. But see, I am definitely an odd bird, I would say, and I own that. So you could tell me the end of a story or a movie and I will still watch it because I'm still going to experience it for the way that I'm going to experience it for. So I would say do whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, we could talk about so many more things. This is how we get the fire going, right? This is how we spread the good word. Oh,
I wrote a book about Esther from the Old Testament, and a lot of it takes place in the desert, and this is like in Persia. When I would promo this, I would bring a desert fox with me where I would bring my books.
Isn't it awesome?
Aww. Oh my God. Hi, Sandwich. Hi. How are you doing today, friend? Are you a little sleepy? For a long time.
So he's usually up all night, like me.
Oh, yeah. This is bedtime for desert foxes. Yeah. Huh?
Oh my gosh. Sandwich, you're misbehaving. What are you doing?
Wreaking havoc. Being all foxy. I think that's normal fox behavior.
I think so.
Sandwich, what do you think about our conversation? Yeah, it's a good one. Are we doing some good good.
He's
thank
happy.
you. A little bashful, or is that bashful or sleepy?
I'm gonna go with maybe both.
Yeah, nice. That is like a kid just waking up from a nap. Aw.
I know.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for joining us, Sandwich. You're very sweet. Okay. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
If there's anything else I can do for you in the future, any voice stuff.
Yeah. Well, let us know when you have your other chapters up. Otherwise, we'll just have to buy your book.
What do I want to say to the world?
You've been saying, look, we need to have compassion for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, coming back to this starts with having compassion for ourselves and then treat others how we truly wish to be treated. But if we're not nice to ourselves, how can we be nice to other people? Right? Because that whole idea doesn't even work when we don't like and respect and treat ourselves lovingly. Right? So let's get solid on that.
Like it.
And then, it's like the easiest person to practice on is yourself, and then practice spreading it to anybody and everybody else. But it takes work because it's not really how we're raised in this culture, but we can change that. And awareness is a perfect place for that to start. So, yeah. Love, baby. It's all about the love.
You can find Laura on all the social media. She's on TikTok. You on TikTok or no? Maybe. No, yeah.
I am on TikTok, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good.
But
What else are you on?
Link, yeah,
Instagram?
the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, obviously. And then I have my very own author's website, which is kind of fun to poke around on. And if you want to order a book that I actually held in my hot little hands and signed, and I can even sign it to people in person, you would do that through my author's website. Or you can buy the book anywhere else that books are sold. Just, march right in there to your favorite bookstore and say, hey, do you have this? If not, let me order it from you. Yeah, I love supporting local, but also the
Awesome.
Amazon and all the other places. So yeah, awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on Between the Lines and for sharing your story. Rich, do you have any last words?
You have the trophy as the most vulnerable, transparent artist we've had.
Yes,
100%.
I win. Thank you.
You were the winner.
It's an honor.
All right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Tuesday, December 15th, 2020, 5:44 a.m. I was struck by an interview on the Rich Roll podcast yesterday with an Olympic swimmer named Caroline. The discussion was of trauma and how it manifests in the body, can even be passed along genetically, and how it creates obstacles on the path of, in essence, letting our true lights shine. This all plays into the resonating themes of my life, in my thoughts, about how we create our own realities and what that ends up looking like for us as individuals, as well as for humanity as a collective whole. I think about this so often, about what I am creating. It is a theme which has come up for me again and again and again over many years. The theme of how I process trauma, which has been boldly in my face for the past couple of years, since Aspen, the Great Pyrenees, had that good little nibble on my legs, releasing so many demons I hadn't realized were hiding deep inside of me. Quote, "New trauma triggers old trauma," as a counselor later professed to me, releasing so many fears and insecurities I'd been pushing down for years, but which always have their subconscious play on how I walk through life. I suppose I should be grateful to that big, toothy white dog who sent me to the ER to get torn skin stitched, to get punctures flushed and sanitized. I should be grateful for the scars now on my legs and in my muscle tissue, the ones that scream to me every time I'm around a new dog. I should be thankful to have this discomfort put so boldly in my face that I cannot turn away from it in good conscience. The trauma rises to teach me some things, to remind me of some things about who I really am. So, who am I, really? I mean, really. Sunday, February 28th, 2021, 4:35 a.m. or so. It is ever so important, oh darling girl, to focus on what feels right to me. Right now, what feels right seems to be a whole lot of mucking around in the mire. So be it. Muck away. Joan loaned me a book during our counseling session the other day, the day when I was again full of crying and anger and resistance to even talking with her, resistance to all this bullshit of trying to trust people anyway. Just thinking about it now makes the heat rise in me in a wave of nausea, makes moisture spring from my pores to all of my skin, to my brow. Call them hot flashes, call them power surges, or whatever. Call them what you will. They are intense, uncomfortable, and undoubtedly have a message for me, just in that. So what is the message already? I remove my oversized fleece jacket, the one that doesn't like to stay buttoned anyway. I let it fall around me where I sit. I close my eyes and inhale deeply through my nose. Raise my chest, straighten my spine up toward the sky. Ah, this. What is your message, uncomfortableness? No words. The heat, the hot dew on my skin subsides. Breathe, just breathe, in and out, deeply. Now, open your eyes. Safety. This is the big one. This is why Anzu watches me so closely. She is so tuned in to me in all my tumbling through waves of strength and vulnerability. She wants to protect me. She is my guardian, feminine angel dog. She is not like my protector who resides in a stern masculinity. She is a warrior who resides in deep emotion and compassion, who becomes frightened and uncertain when she doesn't know how to protect me. This is why she leaves, when she feels the energy of my temper begin to rise. This part of me frightens her and makes her feel insecure, cowardly, and ashamed that she can no longer protect me. Just like Fisher, the intensity of my rage feels too huge, too unpredictable. When the sting of its intensity lashes out toward him, it feels unbearable. In those moments, I become a terrifying monster, not mother, not a nurturer or protector, not me. I understand that the only thing to do in those moments is to run away, to try to hide until that monster leaves. I understand Anzu, Fisher, because once upon a time that frightened child was me. The monster was my father, with spit and rage and pain, thundering down the hallway to come and get me, coming to hurt the little baby girl, lost in the wretched fury of his own rage and pain. It's okay, Mama. It's okay, baby girl. It's okay, Papa. You are also beautiful as tears. This is a big one. This I did not expect somehow, though it would seem obvious as it has lingered around the edges. I have not been willing to look at it. It has been too frightening to see. Oh, my Papa, my sweet little baby boy, you, my darling father. You are beautiful as tears too. If I can forgive and find peace with that terrifying monster in you, perhaps I can forgive and find peace with that terrifying monster in me too. Then perhaps I won't have to be afraid anymore. Perhaps I can truly learn to trust, oh my Lord, and feel safe. Is that even possible? Yes. Then perhaps those others most beloved to me can learn to trust and feel safe with me too. Ivy is outside protecting me from God knows what.